Chainsaw Man was an underwhelming success. At least that's what Mappa's saying. It seems like they're disappointed that Chainsaw Man wasn't as big of a success as Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, Chainsaw Man not making the biggest of sales of all time and setting records may be a little surprising to anyone who was watching Chainsaw Man, as it has some of the best animation that I've ever seen in an anime, and all of the Chainsaw Man opening and endings have millions of views on YouTube. It is important to recognise that Chainsaw Man has been a success and will most likely get a second season, but why wasn't it as impactful as Mappa and many anime fans were expecting? My guess is that Chainsaw Man was just too short. 12 episodes just wasn't enough time for audiences to develop meaningful attachments to the characters. I'm not saying that the characters were bad in Chainsaw Man, in fact I really liked some of them, it's just that we didn't get to see enough of them to really connect with them. Denji is a great protagonist in my opinion. The first episode alone got me to really connect with him and he really stands out to me compared to other anime protagonists. I love that his entire life motivations are simple and that he doesn't really care about what's happening, which makes sense. His life sucked. Big time. He's not going to be thinking about the bigger picture. He's a very lonely person, so his desires make sense. He may say that he wants a girlfriend to touch a woman's boobs and to have sex, but in reality, all he really wants is to be happy. It's why he's disappointed the first time he touches a woman's boobs, and why he hates his first kiss. They didn't make him happy. It's also why he turns down Himeno for sex. He's a great character, but he didn't really develop that much over the course of the series, which makes sense because there wasn't enough time for him to substantially develop. In his own way, saying that I wanted more of something is sort of a compliment, but there just wasn't enough Chainsaw Man for it to stick in my memory. When I was watching the first season, I was completely enraptured by what I was watching, but as soon as every episode finished, I realised that the anime just wasn't sticking with me. And looking back on the anime, I think it's because not much actually happened in Chainsaw Man Season 1. Heavy spoilers here, but here's what happened in Chainsaw Man according to my memory. First episode is all about Denji and Pochita. We find out about Denji's backstory, and then Denji gets killed by his boss, and then he and Pochita do a fusion dance to become Chainsaw Man, and then he kills the zombie devil and meets Makima, then Denji joins Special Division 4 where he meets Aki and Power. He ends up living with both of them after Power briefly betrays them, then they go on a mission with Himeno Kobeni and Arai, then they go for drinks with the rest of the Special Division, then Katana Man comes along and kills most of the Special Division, including Himeno. Side note, Himeno's death is one of the few things from Chainsaw Man that actually did stick with me because I really liked the character, and I think her death scene was really well directed and framed. Then Denji and Power train with Kishibe, and Aki makes a deal with the Future Devil, then the newly formed Special Division go and fight Katana Man and arrest him. This is absolutely a dumbed down retelling of the season, but I have hit all the major moments, and when you look at it like this, not much really happened. I'm sure that future seasons of Chainsaw Man will have even harder hitting moments, but Chainsaw Man Season 1 didn't have a scene or moment that I just can't stop thinking about, which I'm a little surprised about as I think a lot of people, including myself, were really expecting something like that, which brings me to another thing that may have hindered this anime a little bit: expectations. Manga readers will always hype up their favourite manga getting an anime adaptation because of course they will. It's exciting seeing something you love potentially receiving even more acclaim. But the hype for Chainsaw Man was at an even higher level. You could practically hear manga readers drooling when they found out Chainsaw Man was getting an anime. Especially when they found out that Mappa were going to be responsible for animating it. Even the most critical of anime YouTubers were like, yeah, this is going to be something special. I've never seen the flames of hype be fanned this much in the anime community, especially as we're talking about an anime's first season. Expectations for Chainsaw Man were so high that it really did need to be something special, and then the trailers for the anime come out and it really did seem like Chainsaw Man was going to be something special. Unfortunately, it seems like all the best moments in the manga are not in the first season. Hence why the first season may be a little underwhelming despite Chainsaw Man being one of the best anime released last year. But that may also be one of the reasons why Chainsaw Man wasn't a big enough success in Mappa's eyes. It was one of the best anime released last year, not necessarily the best. Last year you had Demon Slayer The Entertainment District Arc, Attack on Titan The Final Season Part 2, Spy Family, Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 3, Summertime Rendering, Licorice Recoil, Made in Abyss Season 2, Mob Psycho 100 Season 3, My Hero Academia Season 6, Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, and Bocce the Rock. There was a lot of great anime released last year that Chainsaw Man had to contend with, and yeah, some of them were just as long as Chainsaw Man was, but they've been able to stick out in people's memories more because some of them have already returned or are confirmed to be returning. Demon Slayer, which boasts some of the best animation in the business, returned for its third season this year. Attack on Titan returned this year for its specials. Spy Family is returning this year for not only its second season, but also a movie. Kaguya-sama returned with a movie not long after its third season. Licorice Recoil has already had its second season confirmed. Made in Abyss is also apparently returning in some capacity. My Hero Academia is definitely coming back. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War is already back on our screens. My point is that Chainsaw Man released in a year heavy hitters, and whilst Chainsaw Man is definitely some people's anime of the year, it certainly isn't everyone's, and for a lot of people, myself included, we just need a little more exposure to Chainsaw Man. And yet there's no knowing when Chainsaw Man will get its second opportunity to worm its way into our hearts, whilst every other heavy hitter from last year either finished, has returned, or is confirmed to return. Even Mappa's Hell's Paradise has been confirmed to get a second season. The longer we wait for Chainsaw Man Season 2, the more forgotten it will be by the anime community. Now I think it's important that I make it clear that I think Chainsaw Man Season 1 was a really good anime. It's dawning on me that I'm speaking quite negatively about this anime, and I will mention a few of the negatives shortly. I'm just trying to explain why I think that Chainsaw Man didn't have the stranglehold on the industry that both manga fans and Mappa were expecting. The other issue is that some manga fans had complaints, the main one being the CGI in the anime, and honestly, I have to agree. The CGI in Chainsaw Man is actually pretty good, but the animation in Chainsaw Man isn't pretty good, it's fucking incredible. So anytime CGI appears in Chainsaw Man, it's quite noticeable and would often pull me out a bit from what I was watching. Again, it's not bad CGI by any means, but it's certainly a downgrade from the visual feast that the rest of Chainsaw Man is. Apparently, there were also some complaints about the direction for the series. This is one area where I don't agree with the complaints. Maybe I would if I'd read the manga, but as an anime only, I think Chainsaw Man had great direction. This series has fantastic atmosphere, and I absolutely adore this anime's pacing. Scenes are allowed to breathe, and even the most mundane of scenes are interesting to watch. Watching Aki do menial house chores was more entertaining to watch than some other anime's fight scenes. Another thing that led to some arguments was the endings for this anime. The idea of having a different ending for each episode was fantastic, and it made me stick to the ends of the credits for each episode, but apparently this had an unforeseen consequence, as some people would use these multiple endings as an opportunity to put down some of the other singers for not being as good as the singer in that person's own favourite ending song. Personally, I think each of the endings were good in their own way. Whether it be the visuals or the song, each ending had something great about it, although I will say that my favourite of the endings was the first one. I just loved the song so much, I still listen to it all the time. In fact, I kinda wish that it was the song that they chose for the opening, because I wasn't a fan of the opening for this anime. Visually, the opening was great with loads of references to other movies, and the opening told a story in itself, but by my own subjective taste, I wasn't a fan of the opening song. But now that we've got my issues and the reasons why I think Mappa called Chainsaw Man less of a success than they were anticipating out of the way, let's discuss the positives. Firstly, the characters in this anime are great. They're all so unique. Whilst they all still need to grow and develop, the first season did entice me enough that I am interested in seeing them grow and develop. I've already spoken about Denji, so we'll leave him alone for now. Power is the most fun character in this anime, and she's very unpredictable too. I'm very excited to see where the anime goes with her character, as I could see her growing to really care for Denji and Aki, but I could also see her betraying both of them and then trying to eat them too. She's a strange person, but that's what makes her so engaging to watch. Aki is very much the straight man of the group. He's usually just stood there watching on as Denji and Power do something stupid, but he's also very cool. I would say that the anime actually gives him the best fight scenes over Denji, mainly because Aki never turns to CG as far as I could tell. I'm also interested to see where his story goes, as he has 2 years of his life left, and the future devil has promised that he'll have a cool death. Makima is potentially the best character in this anime so far. It's hard to pinpoint her exact motivations in the anime, but I always got the sense that they weren't pure. She's actually quite scary in a very subdued way. It is shocking to me that anyone would actually ship Makima with Denji. If you ever needed proof that a lot of people are poor judges of character, that ship is no better example. She's a fantastic manipulator, and there's an uneasiness to every scene that she's in. It's like when Glasses Guy said that he was quitting the team. I honestly half expected Makima to kill him right then and there. She has the potential to be one of the best characters in all of anime as far as I'm concerned. I know some people were disappointed with the choice for a Japanese voice actress, but personally I thought the actress did a great job. In fact, the Japanese voice acting across the board was remarkable for this anime. I think some people wanted her voice to be deeper, more womanly, but I like the direction that they went with Makima's voice. It made her even more unsettling to me. Kabeni was the biggest surprise for me. She had the potential to be really annoying since she constantly screams all the time, but I actually found her to be really interesting as she's a character where there's more to her than meets the eye. Lastly, there's Himeno. I kinda wish Himeno didn't die so early in the story because I would have liked to have seen much more of her, but I can't deny that her death did have an impact on me. She was a great character and it's a shame that we won't be seeing any more of her. Oh, and Kishibe was really cool too. The story in the first season wasn't anything special, but it did feel like effective setup for where the story is going to go in future arcs. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the story goes with the Gun Devil and how they deal with Katana Man. The animation was undeniably fantastic. I don't know if it's the best in the industry as anime like Mob Psycho 100 exist, but it's certainly up there in terms of objectively high quality. The endings were all great. There was clear passion poured into not just each and every one of them, but the entire anime as a whole too. Whilst I'd hesitate to say that Chainsaw Man lives up to the hype, it is without a doubt one of the best anime ever released, and it would be a damn shame if we never got a second season of equally high quality because the anime didn't sell like hotcakes. Chainsaw Man is a phenomenal anime and I'm looking forward to where the story goes, especially as I've had a couple things from the manga spoiled for me, and it's clear that whilst Chainsaw Man may not have had the impact people were expecting, there's a very good chance that Chainsaw Man could have that impact in the future.